This is the Tales of the Valiant starter set. I love this system. I've been running it for over a year. I was keeping up with the previews as they were coming up and really just love the work that Kobold Press has done with this system. So I was really excited when the starter set came out. It's always good to have a good starter set to introduce the game to new players, just to have some handy little small reference books to bring with you when you don't feel like lugging around the whole giant-sized hardbacks. But let's take a look at what's inside the box. We've got 4 finely detailed miniatures, welcome to role-playing guide for brand new people, full rules reference, 2 books filled with adventures, some battle maps, a full set of polyhedral dice, and some character sheets. We're going to open this up and look into the specifics. Now, I have already opened this up, so if you get this yourself, you'll probably see this in the wrong order, but I got impatient and couldn't wait until I got into things, so it's a little mixed up. But first we have a little insert that just kind of links you back to other Kobold Press products, the Game Master's Guide, a little QR code that you can go to their website and check those out. That's pretty cool. Lots of miniature tokens, so not stand-up miniatures, but when you're just getting started, investing in real 3D pre-painted or even unpainted miniatures can be a barrier, and there's lots of things here that are good to use. And I assume, I haven't gotten into the rule books, but I assume this gives you all the miniatures that you would need to run the adventures that are contained within this set. So we've got the Welcome to Role-Playing Games. I glanced at this earlier. This really does get into the true basics of what is a role-playing game. It gives you an example of play with some back and forth between the GM and their players. This section itself reminds me a lot of the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide for D&D from way back in the day, which is how I learned how to play. And just giving you an example of what a game looks like is extremely nice. And if I remember correctly, there is, I don't recall where it is, but in here, oh, there it is. You can actually click the QR code and go to a live actual play. So it's not just the text version, but you can see a video as well. It also goes into some being a good player, which would be nice if everybody read some of that advice. Being a GM, things like consent in gaming and the X card, strategy, safety tools, all that good stuff. Very basic things that you would need to know as a very new player to the game. Then we have the rules reference, which takes the core things from Player's Guide and puts it right here at your fingertips in a very small paperback, easy to transport document. I personally don't play at home. I play at a local game store, and lugging around lots of big, heavy hardback books it's doable, but it's not ideal. And every time that I have an opportunity to replace one of those big books with something like this, I will take it. So lots of good stuff in here that make this game very portable. Then we have one of my favorite things, some maps, and what looks like might be a poster. I'm not sure. This really is my first time popping these open. And these may be too big. I'm likely to look at these, make some comments, and then post larger images of them in the video as like B-roll. Yeah, big poster for Tales of the Valiant. That's very cool. On the back side, we've got a map. It's like a pretty generic dungeon map. Very cool. This paper is also very shiny and very thick. It looks like you would be able to write on this with wet or dry erase markers and be able to remove it pretty easily. Next up we have what looks like another map. This one. Ooh, this is almost like a maze. That's pretty cool. And I think all these are double-sided. Yeah, so on the other side of this one, some more map. These maps are so big they just don't fit in my screen. So I'm going to put some images overlaying this video in the final cut so that you can see a better picture of them than what I'm able to show here. Got yet another map. This one looks like more like a sewer that runs into a crypt. That is pretty cool. Got our sewer lines here, and then I don't know if this is like a cultist area, but you got some crypt areas and some kind of statue of some sort. I haven't read the adventures, so I assume these go along with the adventures that are included, and they look really cool. Excited to read through those and see what's going on there. Then we have 2 adventure books, Introductory Adventures and Advanced Adventures. And first we have a solo adventure teaching you how to play the game when you run for other players. That's a really novel idea. Running a solo adventure for the GM and giving the GM an idea of how to play the game before they bring in their friends. That is a really, really clever way of playing the game for 2 reasons. One, if you play the game a little bit without friends, you can kind of get the bugs out, learn the rules a little better. Here are some of those maps that correspond with the big maps that you could lay out on the table. But, and 2, when you're running something like this for a friend and you've never played it before, it can be a little nerve-wracking if you're fumbling through it for the very first time in front of people versus if you're fiddling with the rules and learning them on your own without an audience to see all the mistakes that you make. You'll still make some mistakes when you run the game for your friends, but it'll be a lot less of a anxiety spike if it's not the first time that you've ever done it. Then we get into the advanced adventures. It looks like there are 2 adventures here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2 more adventures, but a little more difficult and now ready to run with your friends. So 2 more adventures that you can jump into with a real party of adventurers now, not just yourself. And looks like we've got lots of stat blocks in the back, little mini bestiary, a placeholder card, a bunch of character sheets. Now these are looking good. We've got let's see, that first one was a wizard. Secondly, we've got a warlock. I love it when they come with the spell sheets with the actual spells written out. That's extra helpful. We've got Cabbage, who does not have a class assigned. That's interesting. I wonder if that's part of the introductory adventure in some way. I'll have to come back to that later on, maybe in the comment section after I've had a chance to read through these. This is my first time really taking a deep look at these. Canet Cragwalker, a barbarian, a fighter, more spell sheets. Again, excellent stuff. And then we get to what I think is some of the best parts of the set, which is dice, which is always super helpful. I love that they said they had a full suite of dice here, and I always get frustrated when I find a set of polyhedral dice these days that does not include a double set of d20s, with advantage being a mechanic that is so popular across multiple editions and variations of 5e. I feel like you can't say anymore that a polyhedral set is complete unless you're including two d20s. And then again, some of the best things here, the miniatures. These are really high quality. This set was made by Steamforged Games, which is the same company that does Epic Encounters, which I've reviewed others of their products as well. And the miniatures here are all excellent quality. I love the poses and the detail. The only thing that I wish they would do would be include pre-painted miniatures, but for me that's a big perk. That's not a big perk for everybody, but I don't have enough time to paint miniatures much these days, and so for me it would be great if these were nice and colorful right out of the box, but for others that takes away the fun. So, to each their own. Overall, I am loving this set. I'm so glad that I've finished the review at this point, and I can take this out and actually play with it and do things. I know I'm especially really excited about including that reference book in my backpack instead of the big player's guide. And I'm also excited just to use this sturdy little box for storing miniatures or other books or what have you. It's not quite big enough for a full-size rules book. You can see something like Cities and Towns would not fit inside this, and that's more of a traditional size book there. But any of the smaller supplements, or for example a digest size book, would fit perfectly well in this size of box. Really good, really nice storage, just to make things easier as you move things along and spread the game to other folks. So happy gaming, everybody. I appreciate you hanging out for the unboxing.